Hi, Kelly Bowen from Lifestyle Finance Australia, and I would like to have a chat with you about how debt can be a really powerful pathway to abundance. However, there are 3 things that you really need to understand to be able to use it effectively and be able to use it to your advantage and not get caught in some of the fear and debt shame spirals that sometimes people can fall into. So let's really talk about debt for what it is. Essentially, all debt is, all finance is other people's money on an agreed to repayment plan over a period of time. That's simply it. It's no big, mean, evil thing that's here to trap you or to do all sorts of bad things to you and take away your life. It is just simply other people's money that you've agreed to pay back over a period of time. That's it. So as we move through these 3 things, I really want you to think about finance and debt from this perspective. Just other people's money that you're being really clever with and investing it to get a much greater return on. So the first thing that we really need to understand is finance simply allows you to have what you need now to invest in your future. So where people get trapped is that they think they've got to have the money first before they can invest, the money first before they take the big leap, the money first before they do that big thing, that dream, that whatever it is that they've had on the back burner because they've been waiting to get the funds to do it first. Where using other people's money gets really sexy is because it brings that dream that's somewhere over there and it brings it into the immediate now time, like so that you can experience it real time. There is no more waiting. You're living it now. So, think about it. And this is what I really want you to think about. Wealthy people get this. People that have grown to certain levels of abundance really understand how this principle works. So if we look at a business and that a business is wanting to expand, let's say it's like a transport business or a building business, and they've got new staff and the new staff needs cars or they need trucks, they don't use their cash flow money to purchase the cars or trucks. They will go to the bank and they will use finance to purchase that because they can get their $50,000, $100,000, whatever it is that they need now to fulfill the jobs that is going to bring in a lot more money that they're only paying back at a small monthly amount in comparison to what it would be if they were to offload that cash. So this is where we need to start thinking about it, like, what is the purpose of other people's money and how can we use it for us to get ahead? It's a really logical thing for us to connect with, finance, we use that to buy a house because that's responsible investing, which is another story for another day in terms of what I believe responsible investing is. But when you're thinking about how we've been taught to use money, it makes sense to use finance to buy a house, right? Most people won't even bat an eyelid about that. But when we're looking at how you personally can use other people's money to completely paradigm shift your reality, there's a few things you can do. So you can start your own business, or my personal favorite, you can use personal development and education courses to invest in your own growth and your own development, because the truth of the matter is, when you do this, nothing's going to give you a better return on investment. And this is what we specialize in financing in the brokerage, is that we use personal loan finance to help people purchase in education programs, to purchase mentorships so they can grow and catapult their growth. Like there's 2 clients in particular that really come to mind. Like one of them, we financed her into a mentorship. I think it was only about 20 grand it was. And within 3 months, she come back to me and said, oh my God, thank you so much that you helped me get that money at that time, because I've just had my first $157,000 month. Now, I don't know about you, but sure, unless you've got a company, like company growth and expansion, yeah, it's gonna give you a return on investment, but it's a little bit more of a long-term gain. Building a house or purchasing a house and selling a house, again, you will get a return, but are you really going to get a return of $20,000 for $157,000 in a few months' time? I don't know. And this is the power of when you invest in you and you go all in with your own personal development, that the power happens. I have another couple of clients where we've done several finances for them now for various different things. And when I look at their business growth in the last 3 years, they've gone from not having a business to, I was lucky enough to see their tax returns, and they've now got over a $500,000 a year business because they continually kept investing in their growth. They continually kept going all in on themselves. And this is the really powerful thing about using other people's money, that when we get it and when we really understand it in our body and how to use it, we can catapult the growth. And we no longer care about the interest and the fees and the charges because it's so minuscule compared to how much we've been able to shift and change our life. So this is the first thing we really need to understand, is that finance allows your dreams that are somewhere out there right now to come into your now reality and allow you to experience it. Secondly, is that what we really need to get is money is a tool for creating with and adding value to the world. So what does that mean? So this is really relevant if you're looking at, let's use business for example. You're looking at going into business and you're like, well, I need a certain amount of money to get going, or like my startup costs are going to be this. And you see this all the time where people will start a business on a credit card. It costs them $10,000 to get going. And when they've done this ride, within the space of a few years, they're making 6, sometimes if they've been really good at business and they had a bit of background skill in it, they could be anywhere up to 7 figures. And this is why, because they've been able to do these next 4 things, and they really get that money starts as a tool to be able to create with and add value with. So if you are looking at getting into business and you are looking at going down this path, here's some things to consider to know whether you're really sitting on something that is going to add great value to people's lives and you're going to receive abundantly for it. So the first thing is that you really want to consider is, how does the thing that you're wanting to do enrich people's lives? Because people will pay to have better quality of life. That's what we all want, right? We're not here to live in scarcity and feel like we're depriving ourselves of this beautiful, delicious life that we're wanting to experience. We're here to experience. We're here to have joy and love and all those juicy feelings. So, and this is when we're creating a product or we've got like a service we want to bring into the world. This is the first question we want to ask ourselves. How does this idea or this product enrich somebody else's life? Then we want to feel into, is there a need for it? So if there's a need for it, awesome. If there's not a need for it, then you might want to have a look at refining it so it does fit into something where people need it, because people will invest in things they need. Then you want to have a look at, some other windows to see whether this particular thing that you've created, does it give people time freedom? Because people love time freedom. Like, how often do you hear people saying, I just want to be able to see my kids grow up and spend time with my kids, to be part of their growth and their lifestyle, and not, have to work while they're going through their youngest years, where you want to be with them and you want to grow with them and not wait till they're adults, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And then the other window that you really want to look through is, does the thing that you're wanting to do, the product or the service, does it help others create financial freedom or live their dream and live what they're really passionate about? So when you're looking at using a small amount of money to create something with that adds value in the world, these are the kind of windows and brackets you want to be looking for, because this is what will amplify your small investment. And then thirdly, the final thing that you really need to understand and wrap your head around is that when you're using other people's money, there's a little thing called return on investment. And I love this one. It's one of my personal favorites. And return on investment makes the interest, fees and charges that typically are associated with finance seem mute. And the other thing to make peace with is, with finance, there's always going to be interest, fees and charges. It's like death and taxes. The sooner we make peace with it, that it's unavoidable, and we learn how to use it to our advantage, the better, the more amplified our results can be, and the more that we can live our dreams and what we're passionate about. So, and like I said, with some of the earlier examples, like some of my clients, do you really think they care about the small amount of interest they paid on their 10, 20 grand versus the lifestyles they've been able to create for themselves. Like, that's priceless. That you can't put a value on that. And it sort of like makes that peace with the trade-off of, I'm really okay to pay a little bit extra to borrow other people's money so that I can live my dream now. So, you know, like, why don't we think about other people's money like this? What's stopping us from having that, or what has been stopping us from having that shift and go, instead of seeing finance as this evil, horrible thing that you want to avoid, to going, hang on a minute, this is opportunity for me to take advantage of. And the really simple answer is, it's the matrix programming. It's the programming that we've been put into, that debt is bad and debt is shameful and debt is something that we shouldn't have and it'll swallow us. And the truth of the matter is, the only time debt is ever a problem is if you can't afford your repayments. As long as you can afford your repayments and you're investing other people's money in things that bring you closer towards your goal, it's a great thing. I really, really support it. So, if there is something that you've been sitting on the fence about, and where you have a dream that you're ready to jump forward in and jump all in, let's have a chat and let's see what we can make happen for you. This is what we specialize in. There'll be a link somewhere above, below, maybe to the side, depending upon where you're watching this. And yeah, let's have a chat. We'll take care of the rest.